pretty stunning how many lies the president included in that announcement.
The Green New Deal and the environment, which they say may affect us in 300 years, is all that is talked about. They say the ocean will rise 1/8 of an inch over the next 200 to 300 years.
Sea levels are expected to rise way more than former President Trump said. He said 1/8 of an inch in 200 to 300 years. Well, the U.S. government's own National Ocean Service says on its website that sea level along the U.S. coastline is projected to rise on average 10 to 12 inches in the next 30 years.
Good luck getting a turkey for Thanksgiving. Number one, you won't get it, and if you do, you're going to pay 3 to 4 times more than you paid last year.
Okay, so turkey prices aren't up 300%, right?
They are not. They are up, but not even close to that. You can go look at the data online from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, depending on what kind of frozen bird you get.
Imagine seeing someone like CNN's Daniel Dale there, who is broke down and fact-checked Donald Trump on his announcement speech multiple times for like a 10-minute span on CNN. Imagine seeing that and then sitting in your busted chair at home and going, you know what? I need to kill someone over this. It's weird because Stephen Jike Williams didn't imagine doing that. He, in fact, did it. Let's go to some details about this idiot got himself into. So North Carolina insurance salesman and semi-pro musician Stephen Jike Williams, who performs simply as Jike Williams, I think that's how I pronounce his name, allegedly vowed to execute fact checkers for the defamation and slander of the ex-president. When the FBI showed up at his door, Williams threatened the life of a female agent assigned to investigate. That's according to a criminal complaint first obtained by the Daily Beast. This sounds like he got himself a lot of trouble. There's lots of details behind it before he got himself in this kind of trouble. Let's go to those details. Williams' troubles began on September 18th with his email to the Good Information Foundation, which is a left-leaning nonprofit founded after the 2020 election to fight mis and disinformation. Sounds horrible. He says this: you are hereby ordered by we the people under the laws of the Constitution to cease and desist all defamation and slander of MAGA Republicans and Donald Trump. The message read, according to the complaint, this is treason, an act of war, and we will treat you accordingly. You have till the end of the month to print a retraction whistleblow on yourself, or I will shut you down personally. I'm surprised they understood that there was a threat in there because the guy doesn't make any sense. More though, the email went on. Lethal action will be necessary if any physical detainment is attempted when I shut you down. Leave peacefully or your children will forget who you are. This guy thinks he's in an action movie, a bad one. There's more though, because now Williams did this, sent it to them. They sent it then to the FBI and said, this guy's threatening to murder us. So of course, that's when the FBI agent came in. She showed up also with a local cop to discuss this with him. Weren't there to necessarily arrest him. They went to talk to him. So this pair were in plain clothes, and they showed up in an unmarked car at Williams' home in the rural town of Stokesdale. That's according to the filing. When they pulled into the driveway, Williams bolted from his front porch and ran towards the vehicle. Why the F are you on my property? Williams shouted. The female agent showed Williams her credentials, which instantly made him very angry, and he began yelling at the Department of Justice that the Department of Justice and the FBI hired a Russian agent to steal the election. What is he talking about? Sounds like he's regurgitating things that his president once said over and over and over again. More though, Williams stepped back and continued being irate and hostile. Williams called the agent a bitch multiple times and stated that the task force officer should arrest the agent and have her executed for treason and sedition. Williams stated to the agent, I'm going to take you out. Not a good idea. So when the two warned Williams that he could be charged criminally for threatening a federal agent, he allegedly began screaming over and over, get the F off my property. Jessica, just pause there, because there's so much more. This guy got himself in more trouble after screaming at an FBI agent, I'm going to take you out in front of another police officer. By the way, they left after that. But let's start here with these threats over fact checking.
I think it's so funny that this person has made their enemy fact checkers. It just makes, that doesn't sound good. Who's your enemy? The fact checkers. It's like, okay. Yeah. And then says, you need to whistleblow on yourself. That's such a funny sentence. You need to confess would maybe be the words you were looking for. Whistleblow on yourself. Also, your children will forget you? That is a weird threat as well, because how are you gonna make that happen? Like, I'm picturing that he's got the Men in Black situation where you just and then the children forget him. And it's a very serious threat. He's got very serious technology. This person is very clearly unwell. And the interaction with the FBI, I'm excited for, because if he keeps that same energy, this is gonna get really good.
You have to wonder, well, you don't have to wonder. I was gonna say, you have to wonder where his thought process and his mind are, but we know where it is. It's within the people who've motivated him to think like this. By the way, it worked. The cop and the FBI agent took off and left, but he wasn't done yet. Later on, he posted more on TikTok about how angry he was and how he ran them off. And a tipster then pointed out to the FBI, this guy's going crazy yet again. Here's details. Williams had posted this video. It was titled F the FBI in response to the Bureau's visit at his home. And a few days earlier, according to the feds. In it, he parroted Trumpian claims about the FBI being corrupt. And he said all agents are considered to be enemy combatants. I'm not playing with the effing FBI is what he allegedly said in the 2-minute and 18-second video. They've been put on effing notice. If you step back foot on my effing property, I ain't gonna sit there and talk to you. I'm gonna bust your effing head open with effing 308s, man. I'm gonna kill every single one of you, stack you up in your cars and drive you back to headquarters and finish the effing job. They're absolutely out of control. Stand up to fight them. Fight them, shoot them on sight. Oh, so now you want your buddies to help you out with your death wish. And I guess your attempt to be in jail forever. We're gonna get to actually those penalties here. He ended the video by extorting viewers to effing fight, man, fight. Williams was arrested on Friday and detained, pending a detention hearing on November 23rd. If convicted on both counts, he faces more than a decade in prison. Is it worth it? Is it worth it, Jike? Can you get back to your guitar playing and your rebel country music? Because you can be spending about a decade in prison, all because you want to protect the honor of your guy who lies all the time.
Yeah.
Nice job.
This is what the far right has motivated people to become, by rejecting any sense of reality and instead adopting their own and what they're told. I think it's also kind of funny that he ran the FBI off by just being a bit of a weirdo, because that's a tactic that I implement in my life. Like, if some guy's talking to me in a bar, I've literally done this. I did this last night, to be completely honest. So a guy came up to me, did not want him to be talking to me. He's like, so what do you do for fun? And I was like, have you ever seen a cockroach on the sidewalk? And he's like, what? Yeah, I'm like, I take them in a little Ziploc bag and I bring them home and I teach them tricks, and they're actually very smart. And like, deadpan. You can really run a lot of people off by being a weirdo. Unfortunately, the FBI, I'm sure, should have looked into this a little bit more instead of just being like, oh, well, this guy's crazy. Because then he's talking a big game after they leave. Like, yeah, I'm a big tough guy and I ran them off. Like, these people really think they're going head to head with the feds, and they're really not that significant. And it's scary how emboldened they are, because they're only getting more emboldened, and now they're finding each other and becoming friends and doing stuff like January 6th. Like, it's actually very serious.
Yeah, the communication capabilities now and the way that they were this lone wolf just isn't the case anymore. Now they can communicate and listen to their leaders who tell them to do this stuff. It's a theme today somehow.